Hey guys, we are getting ready to do a what I eat in a day. So it is 9:38 in the morning. I get up at like 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. every day and I have my coffee. I have coffee, it's just whatever coffee I'm feeling like, whatever blend. I have multiples. And then I add some vegan creamer to it and that's it. That's it. But that's what I eat, consume, I guess, first thing in the morning. When I get home, if I haven't worked out yet after taking the kids to school, I will work out then. And then I will take my vitamins and I will have my first meal of the day. So these are my vitamins. I'll be showing you guys these every single day that I do what I eat a day because it's important. I take a multi, I take a vitamin D supplement because even with my varied diet and my multivitamin, the last time I got my blood work done over a year ago, my vitamin D was still a little on the low side. So she recommended a vitamin D supplement. So now I take this. And I take a probiotic because gut health, you know. I drink my coffee in the morning and then I try to keep drinking water for the rest of the morning until I go and get my kids from school. Usually I'll either have like a sparkling water or like something with a little bit of caffeine in it to help me get through. But that's pretty much it as far as not food goes. So now we're going to make our breakfast. All right, and this is breakfast. So I've got some sourdough bread here that I got from a bakery. I didn't make this one myself, hence why it's so small, because my bread loaves are humongous, because that's how I roll. And I've got some of my beans, my spicy beans that I made like with my little bean hack video, and I put some sprouts on top because health, and sometimes I eat sprouts. It's really few and far between when I do. Whenever I'm having beans on toast, I try to think of like what to put on top. It's great as it is. It doesn't need anything on top, but I was like, well, maybe I can put some arugula. So sometimes I'll put some arugula. Sometimes I'll put like sprouts like this. Sometimes I'll put microgreens. It kind of varies. Or sometimes I'll just eat it as it is if I'm not feeling like that. But that is breakfast today. All right, guys, it is lunchtime. So I am taking out one of my shirataki noodle stir fries that I had in my freezer for meal prep. If you don't know what shirataki noodles are, they're very low calorie noodles. I think they're made out of cognac root. I'm not entirely sure. But they definitely have a weird texture, so they're not everybody's cup of tea. What I'm going to do is throw these in my skillet to heat it up. I'll add a little bit more soy sauce and maybe some sriracha. And there she is. I did add some sriracha. So I normally eat my breakfast at about 9 a.m. and I usually eat my lunch about 1 p.m. I'm eating a little late today because it's almost 2. So I'm actually going to take this to go and eat it while I wait to pick my son up from school. Because as soon as I get back from picking up the children about 4, a little after 4 o'clock is when I start making dinner. So it is a little bit late. I also haven't had any fruit today. So when I get back from grabbing the kiddos, I'm going to actually have a little bit of fruit salad. All right, guys, it is time to make dinner. I am not hungry yet because I literally just had my lunch a couple hours ago and it was very filling. I couldn't finish all of it. But that's kind of the point of the shirataki noodle stir fry, is it's supposed to be very high in fiber and it has a good amount of protein from the tofu. So it's supposed to keep me full, but I'm making dinner. So typically when everybody is home, I like to make a little bit of a more all-around pleasing meal. I prefer to eat predominantly plant-based, but we do get mock meats pretty often just because my kids like those. Everybody likes these in the house. So we're doing the Gardein. If you watch my grocery haul, you would see these are the ones I got, the Gardein meatballs. The macros are pretty good. 160 calories for 3 meatballs and 15 grams of protein. That's not bad. We're also going to pan fry these a little bit with a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to add a marinara. And I'm going to add nutritional yeast to the marinara as well. These will go on sub rolls. These are the ones I got. They're from Meijer. They're just in the bakery section. They're affordable. 10 grams of protein per roll, so that's cool. But I got these just because, you know, everybody likes white bread. I would prefer a whole grain, but so that is that part. And then we're going to top it with a vegan cheese. I do have Parmesan or mozzarella vegan cheeses for them to choose from. So there is that. Also, I am going to be making some asparagus. So I'm not expecting, I broke my nail. I'm so sad about it. I'm not expecting anybody to eat this. I want my kids to try to eat it. They've never had asparagus. I try to introduce them to new things. I usually pair a fruit or a vegetable with dinner every night. So like last night, I made broccoli cheddar soup, and that's what I had for dinner. But my kids had a vegan chicken noodle soup with fruit of their choice and a sandwich. I just had broccoli cheddar soup and sourdough bread. So, but tonight I'm going to make asparagus in the air fryer. But I'm not expecting them to eat that very much. So I'm also making them some French fries to go with it, because I just feel like a meatball sub on its own is not enough food, personally. So I want them to have something with it. So we're going to make asparagus. They have to just try it. If they don't like it, they don't have to eat it all. I don't force my kids to eat things, but I do expect them to take a bite to try it, because every time I make it, even if they've had it before and they're like, I hate this, it's not good, try it again, because it takes a while for you to grow a taste for something. And I want them to like vegetables. My daughter, she'll eat vegetables. My son does not. So anything I can get into their body that is nutritious is good. I do give them a multivitamin too. They have a vegan multi-gummy that they take. But yeah, I don't really, and like I pack my daughter's lunch every day. My son is not vegan. He is what I would call a flexitarian. He eats what is here and what is available. I give him money for his school lunch, and he eats whatever he wants at lunch. So that is how that goes. But I try to give them good options and new things to try, while also making something I know they're going to eat. Like, I know they're going to eat these. So, as long as they're eating something. So, I'm going to go ahead. So, I'm going to add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil to this pan to cook up the meatballs. I would show you guys how I do my homemade vegan meatballs, which are way more higher in protein and lower in calories and fat, but I just don't have time for that today. Like on a school night, I just cannot be bothered. So I go for a lot of like semi-homemade, or like we'll eat leftovers, what have you. That's why I'm making 2 bags of meatballs, because honestly 1 bag of meatballs would be enough probably, but I'm doing 2 because that way there's leftovers and they can have choices. Like they have leftover soup from last night. They'll have leftover meatballs for tonight if they want to do a meatball sub tomorrow instead of what I'm going to make. But so we're going to let these cook up and mix them around after the bottoms get a little browned. This is the marinara that I'm using. I prefer to make my own sauce, but like I said, when you're on a school night, it's really hard. Like yesterday I made the homemade broccoli soup and I didn't get to sit down and eat. Like I was cooking at about 4:15, 4:20, and I didn't get to sit down and eat my dinner till almost 7 o'clock. So making stuff from scratch on a school night is hard. But there is the macros to that if you're curious, and the ingredients. But I'm just using, this is like a partially used jar. I don't remember what I was using it for, but we're just going to cook these meatballs in, and then we're going to dump the sauce into it, add a little bit of liquid to get any residual water out of, or any residual sauce out of the jar. And then we'll turn the meatballs on low, cover it, and let it sit until all the other components are done. I'm also going to preheat this oven. Man, my oven is dirty. I'm going to have to clean that. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I went ahead and stirred these around. As you can see, the bottoms are getting nice and brown. Alright, so I turned the heat down to low. I'm going to add the sauce now. And I did like 1/4 cup of water to get all the residual sauce out. It's going to reduce, so I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to stir it around till all the meatballs are coated. Now I am going to doctor this up a little bit. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of oregano. You can add whatever you want. Honestly, if I was going to take some extra steps, I would have sauteed some garlic first before adding the meatballs in. But like I said, sometimes I just can't be bothered. Alright guys, so realistic. This is real talk. So I like to have like a fancy drink sometimes. Sometimes I'll make a soda stream. Sometimes I'll have a Zevia with dinner. I've got asparagus that I roasted in the air fryer, and I put a little bit of vegan Parmesan shreds on top just because I think it looks pretty. And as you can see, this has a bite out of it. I re-toasted this, but this was my daughter's meatball sub that she didn't eat. And this is real life. Like, if you're a mom, you can relate to this right now. Like, a lot of the times, if I'm making something for us all to share, if she doesn't like it, then guess what? That becomes my food now. So this is dinner, and if I'm hungry after this, I will have some fruit. All right, and this is the last of the food I'm eating for today. I'm having some fruit salad with some red kiwi, some green kiwi, and some pineapple.